Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. So for today's session, no, we're not gonna use Laravel yet. That will be maybe tomorrow or maybe later today, we'll see. I do have a tiny little project which I selected Laravel to accomplish it, mainly for the reasons of doing it robustly. Basically, it's gotta be quick MVP for very little money, so we gotta work with the budget we have. But for today's session, what I want to have achieved is so we did all this. So we want to have the ticket assignee functionality. So just to recap, I updated the front end a little bit and all the statuses are here, but I made it actually a lot easier or cleaner. I created an element which is select, and it accepts the map, which is key value pairs. The key is in the ID of the item, and the value is obviously what is displayed. And you just give it the which one is selected at the moment, just so as you can see it's in progress now, so in progress is selected. If we switch it to shipped to us, it will update. Well, right now it'll redirect me to login page because my session has expired. Which actually is, let me actually show you the issue here. So if we log in, I will be redirected to set status, right, instead of a ticket, because that's the action that caused the authentication request. But there is no get on that route. It's only for posting. So this is something that we'll have to address eventually. But for now, what we want to have done is being able to assign the person. So our assignee on the ticket we do have, because we added that assignee, right? And I think it defaults to null. Assignee ID, yeah, it defaults to null, so it is not assigned. So first, let's support nulls over here. Where do we place it? Perhaps maybe on this. We have the ticket name over here and ticket description over here. So this is in our row. So this no. Right, name submitted. So we have another row over here, this row. So perhaps we can just do it over here. So I get call span or call 6 over here. As you can see, at the moment we are not using the screen sizes, so this is call 6 always on every screen. And the reason for that is simple. This is not customer facing interface, but if we see what happens on small screens, it is still readable, it's still usable, it's just not, it doesn't look good. So perhaps on smaller screens we want this to float one under the other, but this is not really meant to be used on the phone, and it's only gonna be used by the employees of the repair shop, not by the customers. So everything customer facing needs to be responsive. needs to support mobile view, needs to support small screens, but everything on the admin at the moment we don't care. So everything is the same for all the screens. Now this will also be a form, but before we do it, no, let's first let's do we want to have the list of assignees. The first element will be unassigned, right? But we want to be able to unassign the ticket, to switch the ticket from assignee to unassigned, right? So let's render the element common select, right? So the map will be, so our 0 will be unassigned, and then we're gonna have for now I'm just gonna mock it, right? So that will be the user. Our so this is the map, so our name of the selector or the control will be assignee. And selected is our ticket assignee ID or 0 if it's null. And let's render it. Let's see what's gonna happen. So it defaulted to unassigned, which is correct. We can now do this. Let's do div class float right. This should work. Yeah, so it's to the right over here. There should probably be a little more spacing between those two, but that's fine. We'll address that. So now in our tickets controller we have set status. So we're gonna need, actually before we do that, let's go to routes first and let's add that endpoints. So it's gonna be a post endpoint or action ticket, obviously ticket ID slash assign, and that will go to the controller tickets. Action will be assign, and our prefix, oops, that's why our prefix is admin, and the name for our route is admin tickets assign. There. Then tickets controller test in the admin. Let's test ticket assign now exists, and so we just need to assign, yeah, it doesn't even what is the ticket ID or whatever. Ticket ID can be anything, because we just wanna assert, because this will throw obviously if it's if it never finds what I want. I actually got spoiled by the GitHub Copilot. It does save some time, but if the route is not found, then that's that's gonna throw. So we don't even need that assertion here. But each test needs to have an assertion. Otherwise, it's gonna be reported as risky test because no assertions. Not set status. Assign, and y is set status route is not working. This shouldn't be the case, but again, the prefix over here is not needed. Let's run it again. Just to make sure we're green. Okay, just so we have that test, so we know that this route needs to exist, and we'll implement it, or we'll catch up with tests later. So this is assign route. Ticketing service. So our ticket ID will be the same here, and our redirection also will be the same. So no matter what happens, we are redirecting. So this is typical, just post action. And we need the actual assignee ID. So that's our assignee, and assign ticket, and we want ticket, and the user that we will be assigning to. User. So first our from ticketing service, we want to fetch ticket entity by the ticket ID, and our user, where do we fetch user from? It shouldn't be from the ticketing service, right? But we don't want the, like user service and ticket service and response service, and like basically every entity has its own service. That's not the best approach. Our storage service is deprecated because it's it was built for compatibility with Hesk. So we need some kind of service that will be returning the user. But we do need user service, so it's not gonna be, because that's where we're gonna manage permissions and all that kind of stuff. So we're not gonna have the permission service, we're gonna have just user service. So our user service will what was it? Alt insert. We want the constructor which will get database service. And we want fetch user by ID, and we want int ID, and that will return a bhr user entity. So we want this database fetch table bhr users, and we just get by ID, and that's what we return, assuming that the user has been located. And that's it. And now to actually bootstrap the service, to actually make it available, we need to go to our application and load it. Container add shared, and that is user service, new user service. I mean, we could do the factory to do that, but and we can use the same instance actually, because we're doing new database over here, right? But we can use the same instance of database. We don't need to create a new instance every time, especially since add shared means that this is gonna be a singleton basically. Okay, and that means that we want user service here, and from user service we want to fetch user by ID, which is our assignee. And we now let's add this, so this will be void. And again, keep it simple. We're not validating much. bhr tickets and update all. Assignee ID will be user ID, and our ID will be ticket ID. Right, and that should actually get the job done. So we have our action assign, it's routed. Now all we have to do is so let's get element submit, and value will be assign, and large is gonna be false. So that's our assignee, and we want this form create our what was it, type? Yes, type is post, and our URL is tickets, no, not tickets, admin tickets assign name, and our ticket ID is ticket ID. So that's our form, and this form end. So let's see if it renders. It renders. It's unassigned. Now, if everything went well, it should now switch to 1. Oh. Fetch user by ID must be a type of int and string given. Yes, sir. So assignee needs to be int. That's right. So let's go back. Oh, we don't have to refresh actually, because nothing on the front end has changed. Admin assign. BHR users not found. Because it's not BHR users, it's users. Huh. Oh, it is BHR users. Oh, but yeah, hang on. It is BHR users, but let's check model table. BHR users. So BHR users. So what is? Oh, right. Record not found, because I just read it like the table not found. No, the record's not found because our admin is ID 3. Right, and this is mocked right now. So let's just solve that right now. So on our ticket page, the manage page, we need user service. Right, and we want this set users. User service, fetch all users. This will be the method that will return an array of BHR user. So we want to return this database fetch table BHR users. We want to find all and to array. Okay, so that returns all our users. Once we returned all the users, we can so that map, we can do this array map. This will be BHR user and will return an array where we got user ID, user name. What am I doing wrong here? But I can do a callback like this. I might be working with yeah, well, the argument is missing, that's correct. What was it? Users. Yes, users, and let's annotate it here. Like so. And let's see this. So for some reason, maybe you can't do it this way. So let's just do function. And do it normally with long syntax. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. Because I'm not sure about this. Array to string conversion. So I am running array map on users, and each element should be the user, but it's telling me that it's array to string conversion. You know what? Let's just let's do this, because typically you shouldn't have to be doing stuff like, and you shouldn't be doing stuff like that in the view. View should get all the variables prepared for the view, right? And typically, you know, in some frameworks you don't even have the ability to use PHP in views. You use view syntax, and you can only use the variables provided. So it's okay that it doesn't work. So let's do a user list, and we're gonna keep the users. User list, which will be an array. And that, what is wrong here still? That's why. Okay, and that user list will be, so here we can just do for each user. Oh, right, because I didn't do right. So users will be this users, and for each users as user list of user ID, user name. And our user list doesn't exist. User list will be just an array, and we're gonna set user list as user list. So this will work. Maybe not pretty, but it'll work. And we have nothing in the user list. So did we not fetch all users? This should return all users. Do I have a xdebug connected? Nope. Xdebug is not connected, which is too bad. So first, let's dump all users. And let's see, we have an array size 1 because, yeah. Oh, and I forgot, first element needs to be injected there. So assigned. So this will be our array initially. So we have all the users. Then we, oops, wrong thing. I deleted the wrong thing. And then we, because we don't have user variable here, okay. So let's var dump user list and let's see it. Oh, because my name is null. That was the issue. Yeah, that was the issue of that null to string conversion. And likewise, it was the issue here. So we got unassigned and raf. Assigned to raf, and it's assigned to raf. Yes. Oh no, let's wait for it to load. Yeah. Okay. And we can switch back to unassigned, but record not found. So how do we handle unassigned? Assignee user. Assignee. So if assignee is 0, we want to set user to null. Then to here we want to have this nullable, and assign is user ID, so we'll do if is null user, we want null, otherwise it'll be user ID. That way, if we just refresh this, it should work. And now it's unassigned. Now it's unassigned. Bless you. So now let's assign to raf again. It is assigned to raf. And switch to unassigned. And it is unassigned. Now on top of that, so all these methods that we do over here, update status, assign ticket, reply, all of these will trigger an event that we want to store. And this will be, so hang on, I'll take it assignee. This is done. This will be our next session, because these are, you know, like validation, protect ticket page. Actually, we should eventually tackle this one because it's relatively important. I mean, we can't release this until there is a protection over the, you know, ticket page. So maybe in the next session I will tackle this one. before we do, so now let's add event system. So this is basically ticket status and assignee history. So for now, this is just the scope that we want, just ticket status and assignee. We want to store that as a history somewhere. I assume we will do a table with a relation to the ticket, many to one, and each entry is an event, and it could be, I don't know how, because I don't want to have two tables right now to do first the status history and assign the history and then everything in its own table, because that's just going to be a huge headache. But this is it. This is it for our session today. So we have ticket functionality. Let's ticket assignee functionality, and let's do ticket assignee feature, and let's push it, and we have another short successful session. We're getting closer with each session, but at least half an hour a day, gets you the results. Alrighty, gentlemen, that will do for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you most likely tomorrow.